Hey, Chaotic Crew, Brian here. I've got another Magic the Gathering Foundations deck for you. This time, it's all about Hare Apparent, and there's so many hairs, there's so much hair that Trimmer's not going to save you. So that's the title of the deck, and it's all about this card here, Hare Apparent. And when it enters, you make a number of 1/1 white rabbits equal to the number of other creatures you control named Hare Apparent, and a deck can have any number of cards named Hare Apparent. So you can go a lot of different directions with this deck. We actually talked about it in one of our previous videos of cards we're excited for from Foundations back when that came out. And this is just a really fun, unique card, right? You need to have one on the battlefield already for the second one to do anything. So you want ways to either blink, right, your creatures, or double their enter the battlefield effects, or being able to cast multiple times. And I think a fantastic commander that fits the theme of Bloomburrow-esque, which I feel like this card's from Bloomburrow. Let's not be kidding ourselves here. I think Arthur is the best commander for it. Arthur, as a creature, is a 5-mana 4/5 with haste. Whenever it and another creature attack, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may put a creature from among them onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. Then it goes back up to your hand at the end of at the end of combat. And so what that does is you hopefully can use it to attack somebody who is can't block it, right? And it goes back up to your hand at the end of combat, and then you can cast it on your next turn. Some of these are going to go to the graveyard, which is totally understandable, but we've got some fun cards here to support it. So let's dive into the deck on what this wants to do. So 24 Hare Apparents. You could try and get a bit more, but we're really, scrapped for, cards here. A 24 is pretty decently. It gets a decent amount. You usually get, a few in the game, and if you can get, the longer the game goes on, the better it is. Harvestrite Host, honestly, Harvestrite Host and this next card, Valley Quest Caller, are two cards that I got for my Bloomburrow pre-release, and I wanted to make a deck about them, but I just couldn't get one that I could get behind. But with the Hare Apparent release, I am full steam ahead. Harvestrite Host, a 3/3 for 3. When enter another rabbit you control enters, target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Then draw a card if it's the second time this ability has resolved this turn. So getting a Hare Apparent when you already have another on the battlefield will just trigger this to draw already. Roaming Throne is going to double the triggers of your Hare Apparents, double the Harvestrite Host triggers, double the Valley Quest Caller triggers. Whenever one or more other rabbits, bats, birds, or mice enter, you scry 1, and then it buffs them all by 1 as well. And then last creature of the deck, Warren Warleader, 4-mana 4/4, Offspring 2. Whenever you attack, you either make a 1/1 white rabbit creature token that's tapped and attacking, or attacking creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. So it sort of fits the go wide strategy here by making more tokens or buffing all the creatures you have. So very strong there. We've got a few sorceries here. Dewdrop Cure, like we said, some of these cards are going to go to the graveyard, so this is a way to get 3 Hare Apparents, or 2 if we don't want to gift a card, out of our graveyard, which is pretty nice. Dusk and Dawn are really good because Dusk will destroy all these higher power creatures on the battlefield, and Dawn will get all of our Hare Apparents back from our graveyard to our hand, so that's pretty great too. Kindred Charge is a good way to end the game, or at least flood our board. We'll make a bunch of copies of all the rabbits we control, and then they all gain haste. Not the tokens that the Hare Apparents will make, but all the new creatures we get will have haste, and it'll also set up our board as good blockers too. Raise the Palisade is a one-sided board wipe for this deck. We are essentially Rabbit Kindred with Arthur as the commander. Raise the Past, another great way to get a bunch of our Hare Apparents out of our graveyard. If we have at least 5, right, they'll all see each other enter, and we'll get 20 more rabbit tokens. So let's just refill our board real quick. Rite of Replication. Also, if we have 1 Hare Apparent on board and we kick this, right, we make 5 more tokens, so that they're each going to come in and they're going to see 5, so we're actually going to make 25 tokens with this, but a little bit extra mana here, so good there. Some generic removal instant sorceries. We've got a counter and Arcane Denial. We've got Boros Charm as some protection, Chaos Warp as removal, Path to Exile, Stroke of Midnight, Generous Gift, some Blink, spells like Parting Gust, which could also be removal. Ephemerate, Eerie Interlude is good protection, and Lae'zel's Acrobatics, also a good blink spell. And then Mystic Reflection, really strong if we can play a Hare Apparent. Say we have 3 on the board already, we play one. The trigger on the stack to make 3 1/1 rabbits. Well, we can actually play this and make those 3 1/1 rabbits that come in copies of Hare Apparent, and they'll all see each other enter, and then we're getting, 15 more tokens. So very strong card in this deck specifically. Can also screw with your opponents a little bit too, so strong there. Generic artifact package, we do run Thrumming Stone in these kind of decks. We have Vanquisher's Banner. Pearl Medallion is just a way to help, these costs a lot less since they're going to be going back up to our hand. Herald's Horn does the same thing here. And then enchantments are really going to be the bulk of the power here, I think, in this deck. You got War Leader's Call, Impact Tremors to deal tons of damage to our opponents. Caretaker's Talent's a great way to draw cards. Molten Echoes gives us even more copies, same as Reflections of Littjara. Rising of the Day can give our creatures haste, which is very important, and then Shared Animosity, a fantastic game ender. You don't really want to run this out early unless you unless you want to get targeted by your friends, essentially. And then Virtue of Knowledge, just a great card. You can copy your commander's ability, with the first part, and then the second part is essentially a Panharmonicon, so doubling those Hare Apparent triggers as well. Nothing crazy with the lands. We do run Fountain Port, but other than that, we're of course, focusing mainly on the Plains game, and then we have some islands and mountains and a few other good cards here. But let's go into a play test. Starting with one land, one Hare Apparent, and an Arcane Signet. I say we probably pass on this. We are only running 34 lands. It's a bit of a low number, so you want to make sure you're getting 2 or 3 in your opening hand to cast your commander. Let's go ahead and keep this hand. We've got a Talisman and a Quest Caller to scry and Hare Apparent, so let's go for that. Turn 1, we get the Eerie Interlude. Let's play an island. And we pass to turn 2. Turn 2, no land. We do have white with the Talisman here, so not a huge issue, right? Casting that, and then turn 3. Oh man, we do not get a land, which is unfortunate, but that's okay. I'm going to play the Valley Quest Caller, and that way we can start scrying to get some lands. Turn 4, we do get a Pearl Medallion, so that's not bad. We can play that, and then we can tap 1 for the Hare Apparent. When it enters, we will scry 1 to the bottom, because we need land. And turn 5 isn't ideal. We do get an Exotic Orchard, which is a great draw there. We could cast our commander, which isn't bad, but we don't really have anything we want to sacrifice with our commander. It's turn 5, so most everyone's probably going to have blockers. We could go ahead and play Roaming Throne to set up for next turn, or we could play some Hare Apparents this turn, get some scries going. If someone doesn't have a 3/3 blocker, we could probably swing both Arthur and the Hare Apparent at them. But yeah, we're sort of in a situation where we kind of fell behind early, so now we need to make some strong plays. I say we probably go with the Roaming Throne may get targeted. Let's just say we go with Arthur. Just see what happens. We'll swing in with both of these. 5, 6. Okay, we do hit a Hare Apparent, so that'll come in tapped and attacking. And these go at the bottom. And we'll just we're only making 1 rabbit with these, with this one that comes in, right? So when this enters, we'll scry 1, and then when the other rabbit enters, we'll scry 1. I think we just keep this on top. But it's a 2 3/3s and a 5 6 coming at somebody, so they'll probably block this one to kill it. This one goes back to the hand, and then they only cost 1 mana, right? And we're gonna have a 5th mana next turn, so we can definitely do some stuff. So I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, this is a strong hand if we got the lands. I think we're still in a good spot, but obviously with the board wipes, we don't really have the opportunity to leave mana open for Eerie Interlude, so you got to make sure to watch out for that. Okay, this is a great hand too, starting out with Plains, Hare Apparents, and a Talisman. So turn 1, another Hare Apparent. We play the Plains and pass. Turn 2, play the Mountain. We can do the Hare Apparent first, because next turn we can play the Talisman and another Hare Apparent, so let's do that. Turn 3. Let's play the Plains, and we'll cast the Talisman and the Hare Apparent, which gives us a token, a Wabbit. And we can attack it if we want. Not really going to do a whole lot for us. Something to consider here, we don't have any blue mana, so not the biggest deal. Oh, actually we do have a blue mana. Never mind, I lied. Talisman of Progress coming in clutch. So next turn we will be playing our commander. And we can swing in with the token, right? I don't care if someone blocks the token. We get a Hare Apparent that comes in that's going to give us 2 more tokens, so I'm not worried about it. And if someone blocks this Hare Apparent, not the end of the world, right? If we can attack someone that doesn't have one, that's fine too. But this way, you know, we get 2 more rabbits, and we're in a better position for this Kindred charge if we can draw a land. So yeah, once that comes off, if we can draw our, you know, haste enabler or our war leader's call, then Kindred charge is really going to end the game there. So really strong here too. Let's just see what we would have gotten. Another land, and then next turn another land. So yeah, we would have gotten there eventually, but probably would have had to deal some combat damage. Boros Charm going to do some heavy lifting on protecting our board, so just something to keep in mind there. But really strong game there. Let's do one more. We do have 2 lands plus the Talisman, so let's go for it. Draw another Hare Apparent. This deck, you know, these decks that can have any amount of 1 card tend to play very similarly. So if, you know, you don't have many decks, this is kind of a gimmick deck where you need to make sure that I wouldn't go out and buy a bunch of copies of Hare Apparent, right? But I would go out, let's just do next turn. I would go out and make sure that, you know, this is what you want to do, because otherwise you can put yourself in a situation where you regret doing it, like spending all that money on a deck that's a little bit one note. But it is a fun gimmick, and if you love tokens, definitely a cool strategy to go for. Here we're going into turn 4. Unfortunately, drew that tap land. We don't have any other lands, but we can play 2 more Hare Apparents. Actually, I like Rising of the Day here. Rising of the Day is really good, and that way we want to draw another land, so we can do Hare Apparent plus potentially Mystic Reflection. And we will go to turn 5, and wow, okay. Well, this is bad either. We just go Hare Apparent, right? So we're going to make 3 tokens, essentially. Rabbit times 3. Turn 6. I mean, we're not doing a whole lot this game. Now we have 6 rabbits. We could place Shared Animosity, give them all +5/+0. I think the better thing here is to potentially hold up Eerie Interlude and foretell Mystic Reflection. We could also cast our commander, but our commander is not doing a whole lot for us right now. It's maybe getting us another Hare Apparent, which would get us 3 tokens, but that we need protection against board wipe. We're at a point in the game where we have most of our resources on board, and we want to make sure they live. So I would foretell Mystic Reflection, however you want to do that, and then I would hold up Open Answers. And then, you know, someone's turn, whatever, Eerie Interlude, bring these 3 back. They're going to see each other enter, so we're going to get, or if someone board wipes, we'll end up with 4 tokens, or you know, no one does anything, we get 4 more tokens, so we have 7 tokens and 3 Hare Apparents. Right, next turn, that's 10 creatures, Shared Animosity, plus another Hare Apparent is going to essentially wreck the game for us. So that's Magical Christmas Land, but we sort of played our hand how we could. We can't really do a whole lot else except get our commander out. But we could also Mystic Reflection if because we had the mana, right? We could play the mana to do everything, all 3 things. Play the Hare Apparent, or play the Shared Animosity, play the Hare Apparent, and cast Mystic Reflection, and that way we get a crap ton more rabbits that all have haste because they're rising in the day, and that should be the game. And it's using every single card except for a commander. So really strong game there, and a fun deck, really fun gimmick, I think, and something that I definitely will be a lot of fun, but not worth spending $4 a pop for these Hare Apparents. But yeah, let me know what commander you would make for Hare Apparent. Lots of good ones out there, especially all the rabbit commanders from Bloomburrow, Kaikar from the new foundations that could be a decent Hare Apparent commander. Just let me know what you would want to build around Hare Apparent, what cards you would add in, what cards you would take out in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.